A group of sophisticated criminals enlisted the help of a Croydon man to organise a terrifying shooting in North England. The two other Londoners, travelling 300 miles to carry it out, Colin Crawley and his associate James Townsend, were the architects of the daylight shooting, and organised for two co-conspirators from London to travel to South Shields to carry out the offence. After a complex probe into the investigation that saw thousands of encrypted messages analysed, police were able to charge 8 men for their involvement, with 5 now imprisoned behind bars for their actions. The court heard that Paul Momat, 36, and right-hand man Joseph Millward, 29, masterminded the plot in a bid to lay down a warning to a rival. They enlisted London-based Colin Crawley, 46, and Townsend, 45, to organise the shooting, with Captain Binder, 33, to act as a middleman. Following weeks of planning, shooter Stephen Simpson, 24, and Ashley Mackenzie, 33, travelled from South London to South Shields during the afternoon of September the 16th, 2021. Simpson discharged a handgun at an address on Heaton Gardens just moments after the victim had stepped outside his front door. The plot saw Simpson and Mackenzie being given access to accommodation in Gateshead, as well as the use of a stolen car, which had been arranged by the 24-year-old Tyrone Baglin. Police officers investigating the incident trawled through hundreds of hours of CCTV footage, as well as thousands of calls and messages sent between the defendants. An address on Raleigh Road was identified where Simpson and Mackenzie had stayed in the hours before the attack. Inside they found a set of car keys which had been concealed behind the television. The keys opened a stolen VW car that had been discarded on a nearby street, with officers discovering the handgun that had been stashed inside the glove box. After weeks of inquiries, Northumbria Police, supported by the Metropolitan Police, carried out a series of dawn raids across South Tyneside and London, with a number of suspects arrested. Mobile phones, weapons and cash were also seized from various addresses, including £30,000 from Crawley's home and £6,000 from an address associated to Momat. Last year, 4 of the men, Millward, Crawley, Binder and Baglin, all admitted being part of a conspiracy to possess a firearm with intent to cause fear of violence when they appeared before Newcastle Crown Court. The remaining 4, Momat, Townsend, Simpson and Mackenzie, all denied their involvement, but were found guilty by a jury following an 11-week trial at the same court in January this year. Momat, Baglin and Millward also admitted a separate offence of failing to disclose the key to protected information related to their phone under Regulation of Investigatory Powers Act. On March 17th, 5 of the men were sentenced at Newcastle Crown Court, with the 3 remaining defendants to be sentenced in the coming weeks. Paul Momat, 36, of Owen Drive, West Bolton, was jailed for the total of 9 years, 8 years for being found guilty of conspiracy to possess a firearm with intent to cause fear of violence, plus an extra year for failing to disclose the key to protected information. Colin Crawley, 46, of Woodhall Court, Croydon, was jailed for 6 years and 5 months after admitting conspiracy to possess a firearm with intent to cause fear of violence. Stephen Simpson, 24, of St Matthew's Road, Brixton, was jailed for 7 years and 3 months after being found guilty of conspiracy to possess a firearm with intent to cause fear of violence. Ashley Mackenzie, 33, of Wandsworth Road, Lambeth, jailed for 6 years after being found guilty of conspiracy to possess a firearm with intent to cause fear of violence. Tyrone Baglin, 24, of No Fixed Abode, jailed for the total of 3 years and 8 months, 3 years and 2 months for admitting conspiracy to possess a firearm with intent to cause fear of violence, and an extra 6 months for failing to disclose the key to protected information. Detective Superintendent Jane Fairlam of Northumbria Police led the investigation. She said this was an absolutely appalling shooting that was a culmination of weeks of careful planning by the co-conspirators, which each defendant trusted to play their part in its execution. While nobody was ultimately hurt, it's clear that this behaviour is totally unacceptable, and we hope these sentences send a strong message to everyone. We will not tolerate serious violence on our streets. I am pleased that 8 co-conspirators have now been convicted at court, with 5 of them now having been handed custodial terms, and the other 3 are due to be sentenced in the coming weeks. Townsend, 45, of Hawksmoor Road, Oxford, Millward, 29, of Davy Close, Hebburn, and Binder, 33, of Babberton Road, Streatham, will all be sentenced on a future date after they were each convicted of conspiracy to possess a firearm with intent to cause fear of violence. Please like and share and comment and subscribe. Thanks.